governor, I spent 6 years as a U.S. congressman. I tell people I'm a recovering member of Congress. And during those 6 years, I would often run around the National Mall and go visit some of the monuments. And so I got to learn a lot about the monuments. And it's interesting, you know, we know that Martin Luther King has his own monument, but he also has a place carved out for him in the Lincoln Memorial as well. He's really the only person that is featured in 2 different monuments and memorials. And I think part of the reason for that is because the monument that he has of his own, of course, represents, you know, the things he did in his time. But I think the fact that you see him in Lincoln as well is the fact that the things he stood for really are for all time. And the principles and the ideas that he believed in really have stood the test of time. And we're a better country for having, for his leadership. And when I look at what kind of his legacy is, to me, it's, you know, he understood better than a lot of people who profess to be supportive of America's ideas. He understood them better, and he actually took them seriously and said, you know what, these are the best ideas, and they apply to everyone. That's what you guys wrote in the Declaration of Independence. That's what the Constitution's supposed to stand for. And all he was asking was to take part in this great experiment. And he understood that the rights, you know, are God-given rights. It's not government to tell you, you have these rights. And he stood for those principles. And I think that for me, what I think of is I don't want any artificial barriers to people succeeding. You know, we all have different God-given talents. Like I wanted to be, you know, play baseball. I played through college. When I was in Congress, people would ask me, oh, well, why didn't you play in the big leagues? I'm like, well, if I was good enough to play in the big leagues, don't you think I would have done that? Of course. I would have made a lot more money, had a lot more fun. But that just wasn't, you know, in the cards for me. But I worked as hard as I could, and I could look in the mirror and say, look, I just, you know, wasn't good enough, so I tried something else. And, you know, you think about some of the history of discrimination, how many people that had so much talent weren't allowed to succeed. And so that's what we don't want. We want people to be able to go as far as they can, you know, through hard work and perseverance. And that's what we need to do here in the state of Florida. I'm happy, like, when I'm as governor, obviously you sign bills, but you do all this stuff, but you appoint a lot of people to office. And, you know, Jamal, if Jamal can stand, Jamal is the head of all of Enterprise Florida, trying to bring business into our state. He's doing a great job. He's a Marine. He's outstanding. We have so many really great African-American appointees already, and I've only been in office for a couple weeks. The head of all of our economic opportunity is one of Jamal's friends, a great guy, Ken Lawson, another former Marine. I was just in Broward County doing an event down there, and within the last week and a half, I appointed the first African-American sheriff in the history of the county of Broward County. And here's the thing. All I'm trying to do is find good people. And I think that you can find good people if you're willing to consider people from all walks of life. I don't want to do some good old boys network. That is not the way you find the best people. And so I think what you see is what we've been able to do is find folks that I think are not only going to serve the state of Florida well, but will be leaders for really years and years to come. And so I thank Jamal for his willingness to serve, and we look forward to continuing to have a lot of good folks work in our administration and in our government. And you know, we were down there talking. It was really, really interesting this morning. It was an all-boys school at one of the churches that they started. And, you know, obviously they're doing good academically, but they were really focusing on values like integrity, character, some of the things that I think we need. And I said to the folks this morning, a lot of times we say, oh, well, if this person was here, Abraham Lincoln would say this, or Martin Luther King would say, and, you know, it's hard to know what they would say about different things because we do live in different times. But I looked at that and I saw these folks succeeding, and Dr. King would have been proud, because when you ask for or you demand equal treatment and rights, people oftentimes don't remember Dr. King insisted that that comes with responsibilities, and he wanted excellence. I mean, he gave the speech saying, if you're a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you can be. And so that's what that school was striving for, and that's what I want to do, you know, throughout the state of Florida. Let's make it, give people the tools they need to make the most of their own life, follow their dreams. You ain't going to succeed in everything, but get back up and try something else. And that is really what we have to do. So that's what I'm going to continue to do as governor. And look, if I see things that you know, are injustice, you know, I'm willing to act. I mean, we pardoned the Groveland Four, you know, shortly after coming into office. and you have to be able to look at these things and say that is wrong. And so that's the kind of governor I'm going to continue to be. And I'm just really glad to be here in Winter Park. I think this is really a jewel in our state. It's such a great community. The mayor has just been great every time I've come into town. I think you're at almost everything I show up. So I mean, it's good. So we want to continue to work with you all here in Central Florida to build a stronger Florida. And I think it's a great day to remember the legacy of, very few people really change, the world. And Martin Luther King is one of the ones that really made a lasting difference that we'll be remembering for years and years to come. So thank you all, and God bless you.